Hi, everybody. I wanted to share with you a recording that summarized the class presentation and the assignment for Maine Studies, the night Portland burned. I want to send this to you so you could have it in your um, file and you could refer to it if there's any questions about how to complete this assignment. The key part of the assignment, keep this in mind, is that you are being transported to 1866. And it's July 4th, and there's a fireworks July 4th celebration in the city of Portland. It's the first celebration of July 4th since the end of the Civil War. And your task is to write a report, a narrative, some historical document that would tell a generation of students 50, 100 years from now, from 1866, what that night in Portland was like. Now, as a character, you live in South Portland, and you notice something happening in Portland, and it's a fireworks display. And you're across Casco Bay, and you're watching this fireworks display. And then you notice that there is smoke and fire in the sky. So you come across the bridge at the time and you investigate and talk to people who are there witnessing the fire. And again, your task is to create some historical document, whether it be a slideshow, whether it be a photo journal, a diary, just a narrative, a written journal of the evening that the Great Portland Fire occurred. Now you're saying to yourself, well, I wasn't there, so how do I do that? How you do that is I supply you with the historical evidence. That historical evidence is given to you in the slideshow, The Night Portland Burned, that I've prepared for you. That slideshow contains a video or two, some other resources, photographs, and a newspaper investigative report that was done a couple years ago. And basically went back in time, the same way I'm asking you to go back in time, to create a document that tells about the fire of 1866. Matter of fact, the article for the Portland Press Herald that's telling people like ourselves in the 21st century about this fire is almost a prototype. It's almost an exemplar of what I'm asking you to do. So if you go through the slideshow, and let me just do that for you here, and this will be the evidence that you can use. There are pictures, and I can go through these that I'd ask you to examine, and each of these pictures tell you a story. This picture right here is from the South Portland side of Casco Bay, and is looking over Casco Bay and seeing the flames and the smoke of Portland. And then you have pictures that show the before and after. This was a large structure on the Portland waterfront called the Sugar House. It's one of the largest structures in Portland. And then there are other pictures. That's Exchange Street in the Old Port, the before and after. And then there's a video here for you. Quickly just play the video. I won't play the whole entire thing, but it gives you an idea.
It was an industrious and prosperous city by the sea. Weekly steamships ran between Portland and Liverpool, while the Grand Trunk Railway connected Maine to Montreal. More than 30,000 people called Portland home, including large populations of Dutch, French, and Irish immigrants. It was expected to be a day of celebration, the first Independence Day since the troops came home from the Civil War. Instead, Portland would endure the worst urban fire the nation had ever seen.
Okay, so follow through with that video, and it contains a lot of good information for you. And then we've got some more artist rendition of what happened that evening. And then this right here, it's a It's a gallery of a variety of photographs. This is Portland City Hall. It had just been built. It was brand new. It was supposed to be fireproof, but obviously it wasn't. And there you had the picture tells you about the intensity of the fire. I can go and share with you some of these pictures. Here they are. So there's 35 altogether, and each one of those pictures tells you a story of the fire and the intensity. You can look at all the destruction of this fire. Picture of an old gas lamp. That's sort of cool right there. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the slideshow, and here's the ground level picture of the tent city, and then there's this article right here. Let me show this to you here. It's right here, the night Portland burned, and this really is almost a prototype of what I'm asking you to do. Different level of depth, but the same idea. It contains a lot of information for you. There are different articles about the fire itself. The only article I'm asking you to actually read, because I think it will be very helpful to you, is this right here. The one I've got the mouse on right now, The Night Portland Burned. I'll get back to that in a second. This contains a lot of pictures, some more interviews. Again, you're a historian. You're seeking to get more information to tell about this fire. There's dispatches. There's even a recording for you.
July 6th, 1866. Your 3 letters, dearest Lita, came today, the last written on the 4th, and they give me the first intelligence I have received from you since I left Long Branch. It gave me unspeakable pleasure, darling, to hear again, particularly at a time when I need so much some kindly words to cheer and encourage.
So there's a letter of the time. There's some more information for you. 150 years later, death toll revealed. Some more historic pictures, some statistics for you. So again, this is the information that you've gathered to write your historical journal, to put together your photographic journal, your slideshow. There's before and after, City Hall, sort of cool. That's the fire, and that's the current City Hall in Portland. Shows a different, there's Congress Street, before and after. And one other piece of information I have for you is I put this together, and as part of your Google Classroom, this is an outline of that, of this right here. It's an outline of this here. This is in your Google Classroom, and there's an outline of it. And I've got guiding notes for you. Right here are my notes of this particular resource. I'm inviting you to use it, to look at the information. Here's the article, The Night Portland Burned. I've broken it down into paragraphs and different questions that you should be asking, and that will be answered in this article. The article that we're going to get back to is this one right here, and it's entitled The Night Portland Burned. Okay, and that is the one major resource I encourage you to read. You'll find it interesting. Tells you a lot about the history of the greater Portland area and about the fire. Okay, now the assignment itself, just to remind you, is right here. It's part of this grid work that helps you keep track of information. I can go back here. Again, you're a reporter. You're asked to write an historical journal that high school kids, 100 years from now, will want to know what happened in the Great Portland Fire. You're being transported in time to write this photographic journal using all the historical evidence I've provided for you. Okay? I'm trying to get this done by December 21st, which is Monday. If you need more time, let me know. I'm just trying to make sure that you have limited amount of work to do over the break. So please pass in your notes, which is below. That records all the information that you have put together. Okay. And pass in also the major project. If you have any questions, please let me know. To remind you, when we come back, we have 3 more weeks left in the quarter. Just remind you that there's the climate change project for those that have not yet done that. Also the homelessness recommendations and worksheet for Governor Mills on the homeless project. Okay. Any questions, of course, let me know. The assignments, this has all been sent to you, and this has been meant to be a summary review of our class time for those that haven't been able to make it to class, those that have made it to class but needed more of an explanation. If you have any questions coming out of this, please, of course, let me know. Okay? Thank you very much. Enjoy, stay warm. It's supposed to be cold and a little stormy over the next few days. Take care.